Everybody, this is Miss Dustman. I'm one of your child's English language arts instructors, and we're just going to go over the weeks 3 and 4 contingency remote learning plackets that you had received in the mail. I wanted to go over some of the new activities that were added to these plans. So, in case you had any questions, perhaps this video can answer those questions for you. The first thing that they would need to do is the spelling. They have already done activities that are very similar to this. They can go through that previous spelling packet that they had for weeks 1 and 2, and they can circle the pages 342, 351, 364, 374, and 386. And those activities are very similar to what they had done before, so they have experience with those types of activities. Also, the write-in reader is something that they had experience with weeks 1 and 2. The write-in readers that they are going to be looking at are Wagon Trains, which is lesson 16, and Monkeys, which is lesson 17. And that's where you're reading the passages, you're applying the vocabulary, and you are using the text evidence to answer those questions. Now I'm going to move on to the newer activities that were added to the weeks 3 and 4 remote learning plans. First is cold reads. So the objective for cold reads is the child is to read a passage and then answer questions. They have two passages. The first one is Olga's Bakery, and if you notice on the second page, there's questions 1 through 5. On the fifth question, it's always an open-ended question. It says, do you think Cecilia has lived in Poland? Use details from the passage to support your answer. You can write your response on that paper that was provided for you in your weeks 3 and 4 packet that you received in the mail. So that's what you're going to be doing for the Olga's Bakery. For homegrown, you're going to be doing the same thing. You're going to be answering those questions 1 through 4, which are multiple choice questions, and then you're going to answer the open-ended question, which is question number 5 on that separate piece of paper. How are worms good for a garden? Use details from the passage to support your answer, and again, use that paper that was provided for you in the packet. So that's the cold reads. Now, after you've read those two and answered those 10 questions, then what you're going to do is a paired text activity, which the children are quite familiar with. We've done it in class together numerous times where they're both reading two separate passages, and then they are writing a comparative essay using information from them. So the question is, how did Aunt Olga in Olga's Bakery and Mrs. Salter in the story Homegrown use their knowledge to teach others? A little tip would to be to focus on Aunt Olga in paragraph number 1 and just write about 2 to 3 sentences, and then talk about Mrs. Salter from Homegrown in the next paragraph, and then kind of analyze how they both use their knowledge to teach others. So they've had experience with doing that. This is probably a little more complicated than what we're used to for remote learning. So if you have any questions, please contact us. And then our next new activity that was included in remote learning plans 3 and 4 is the writing journal. Now, the writing journal is more of a creative writing assignment. That is where you are going to need that paper that was provided for you, and you are going to use this as your frame of reference on what to write about. So you have 13 choices, and each child should select about 4 of those. You can circle the numbers on the side if you want to, and you are going to do 4 separate journal entries answering the questions to the child's choice. Now, to gauge how to answer those questions, a rubric was enclosed for you. Some of you may be familiar with this rubric that Miss Hook has provided something similar like this with her classwork for how she grades her classwork. This is the rubric that has the criteria in which we are evaluating their journal entries. So they're being judged on their subject, the quality, the clarity, mechanics, and then that's where they will receive their score. You want to look in the 4 and 3 range to kind of gauge how you want to answer those questions, because these are the satisfactory, these are the standards that we want the children to live up to as far as providing their answer for the journal. So that would be done on a separate piece of paper, and that is new. And then independent reading is the student choice, so they can read their choice book if they still have their library book at home. That's something that they can do, or any other text that they love reading at home. They wanted to make this more of a creative type experience for remote learning 3 and 4, which we are very excited about. If you have any questions with any of the lessons that I have gone over, or even if you have questions about some assignments that were in weeks 1 and 2, we are more than happy to answer your questions. We can contact you via email, via Dojo. We can also do a Google Meet or a Zoom conference with you where you can actually see us and talk to us on the computer screen. We also can even call you on the phone and just talk you through whatever problems you may be having with the assignment over the phone. We have done that for quite a few students so far during this remote learning time. Um, so again, if you need any help, please reach out to us. We miss you very much. I can speak for Miss Hook, Miss Landis, Miss Capizzi, and myself that we really miss you. We are more than happy to help you, and anytime we can help you, please just contact us. We want you to stay safe, and we want you to stay healthy during these challenging times. Remember, keep your social distancing, wash your hands, do all that good, healthy stuff to promote good health practice. So, again, this is Miss Dustman. Thank you for listening. And if you need any help, please reach out to us. Take care.